Avengers Endgame clocked in at a whopping 3 hours, making it the longest Marvel movie to date, but there are still scenes that were cut from the final film that we never got to see. Yippee-ki-yay movie lovers, I'm Jan, and in this video I'm revealing all the deleted and fake scenes from Endgame. A new round of my Marvel giveaway is also running, so subscribe and leave a comment about the movie for a chance to win. Of course we'll be discussing spoilers, so take care if you haven't seen the film yet. If you were devastated by Black Widow's heroic sacrifice in Endgame, you'll be shocked to know that a stack of Natasha scenes were cut from the final film. First is a deleted scene of Nat at target practice where she's keeping her shooting skills sharp. Another cut scene of Nat training has her punching a boxing bag, showing her relentless determination to keep going. And in another cut scene of Nat sitting by herself in the rain, we can see how lonely she is. All those deleted scenes throw more light on how Black Widow was really the only original Avenger who refused to give up on the mission over the 5-year time jump. Although the Avengers hunt Thanos down on his garden planet and kill him, it doesn't reverse the snap, and so over the 5 years that follow, Tony, Steve, Bruce, Clint and Thor all go their own way, with only Nat staying on at Avengers HQ where she's determined to keep the mission going, with surviving heroes like Rocket, Okoye, Captain Marvel and War Machine reporting into her. It would have been nice to see these deleted scenes to show what Nat was going through, especially given that she reveals to Steve and Clint that the Avengers were her one true family. But I suspect they were likely cut for time, as I can see they weren't absolutely essential for the story. Another deleted scene for Black Widow comes later during the time travel portion of the movie, when she and Hawkeye are on their way to Vormir. There's a clip cut from the final film where Nat and Clint seem to be taking a moment before they head on down to the Soul Stone planet, and it looks like this was probably some additional foreshadowing of Nat's eventual fate. And a small moment from the first trailer of Natasha looking on in shock at the carnage that Hawkeye has unleashed on the Yakuza in Tokyo was also chopped from the final movie. We all know already from Avengers Infinity War that Marvel love to use fake and deleted scenes in trailers to throw fans off the scent when trying to figure out spoilers. And in Avengers Endgame, Marvel have dialed up the level of misdirection and trickery to 11. For example, in the final battle during Captain America's fight with Thanos, the Mad Titan repeatedly brings down his huge double-bladed sword on Cap's shield, smashing it several times and leaving only part of it intact. But to avoid revealing this, in the trailers when we see Cap dragging himself up from the ground, his shattered shield has been replaced with an unbroken one. In another shot from the battle when Cap tightens the shield strap on his arm as he readies himself to face off against Thanos again, in the movie the shield is broken at this point, but in the trailer we see it still in one piece. In Infinity War, Bruce Banner wasn't able to summon his inner Hulk successfully, but in Endgame, during the 5-year time jump, Banner finally comes to terms with the Green Guy, and rather than trying to treat him as a disease, he embraces him and becomes Professor Hulk, getting what he calls the best of both worlds. To avoid this reveal before the movie was released, Marvel digitally removed Hulk from any scenes in the marketing materials. In this scene where Rocket and Banner go to New Asgard to find Thor, in the movie Professor Hulk is actually right behind Rocket as a raccoon opens the door, but in the trailer he was digitally erased. And in this scene where War Machine meets Ant-Man, in the movie Professor Hulk walks into the scene, but in the TV spot the big green guy was removed. Another major character change that Marvel wanted to hide pre-release was Thor's transformation from a bicep-busting hero to an overweight, depressed god of thunder, or what the internet is calling Fat Thor. Although Thor went for the Mad Titan's head when they found him on the Garden planet, afterwards he fell into a deep depression, abandoning his role as ruler of the Asgardians and instead playing video games with Meek and Korg while eating tons of junk food and drowning his sorrows in beer. So when Marvel presented us with shots of Thor with his battle-ready Infinity War look in the trailers, it was a complete misdirect. For other Endgame trailer scenes, they completely removed the Asgardian god so we wouldn't see the overweight Thor. In this scene of the Avengers figuring out their time heist plan, both Thor and Professor Hulk have been digitally erased from the shot. In a similar bit of trailer trickery, Thor and Hulk were removed from this shot of the team walking towards the time travel machine, the Avengers facility. Another attempt at misdirection is how Marvel edited this shot of Thor to make it look more like he was somewhere like Wakanda. In the movie, this scene actually takes place after Thor killed Thanos on his farm, but in the trailer, the surrounding background has been altered to give it a different look. There's some scenes teased in a TV spot that were deleted from early in the movie where Captain Marvel is with the team and they're looking at screens of missing heroes. Carol, Steve and Rhodey are all wearing the same clothes they had on in a scene which was in the movie, where Captain Marvel proposes going to Thanos' garden planet to take the Infinity Stones back. And there's also a similar deleted scene from a trailer where Banner is looking at screens of Scott Lang, Shuri and Peter Parker who are missing. It's also strange that Endgame is missing any mention of Nick Fury's pager from the Infinity War post-credits scene. Marvel kind of addressed this by releasing the post-credits scene from Captain Marvel's movie just before Endgame came out.
Tell me the second you get a signal. I want to know who's on the other end of that thing.
Where's Fury?
It's still surprising this post-credit scene of Carol meeting the team wasn't included in Endgame with maybe some additional footage of her learning about the snap, because the Russo brothers have previously used post-credit scenes from other Marvel movies in their own films. For example, the Bucky post-credit scene from Ant-Man appeared in Captain America Civil War. Just before the Avengers split off into teams to visit different timelines and retrieve the Infinity Stones from the past, Cap gives them all a pep talk and they put their hands together in a circle. For the trailers though, the time heist devices that they're each wearing on their gloves have been removed. By the way, suitably enough, this shot is an Easter egg to a new Avengers comic book, in which Marvel's Illuminati discuss the existence of a multiverse and multiple parallel realities. And to avoid giving away more clues about Endgame's time travel, in the trailers Marvel disguised the fact that this scene takes place in 2012 during the Battle of New York. In the movie, Steve is wearing his blue Captain America outfit from the first Avengers film, and not his Infinity War costume that we see here.
You trust me? I do.
And the handshake between Tony and Steve at the end of that clip was also cut from the final film. To avoid giving much away about the film's third act, Marvel made a huge number of changes to any scenes in the trailers taken from the final battle against Thanos. In this scene of Iron Man, Cap and Thor walking towards the Mad Titan, Thor's hammer Mjolnir has been erased. The existence of Mjolnir in Endgame and how Thor acquired it by going back in time to Asgard needed to be kept secret, as before Endgame the hammer was last seen in Thor Ragnarok where Hela destroyed it. This brief clip of Hawkeye fleeing down a burning tunnel should actually show Outriders engulfed in the flames behind him, but to avoid revealing that, Marvel scrubbed them out of the trailer. Clint was also carrying the new gauntlet with the Infinity Stones at this point in the film, another detail that was wiped out of the trailer. During this scene of Rocket and War Machine assembling with Cap and the other heroes, Giant Man is also rising up behind them, except in the trailer he's been removed. Captain Marvel has a couple of new haircuts in Endgame which Rocket makes a joke about early on in the movie, but the short hairstyle which Carol sports after the 5-year jump was replaced in the trailers with Captain Marvel's helmet and mohawk as previously seen in her solo movie. And hair-related misdirections weren't limited to Captain Marvel's role in Endgame. Marvel's marketing team even went so far as to change Black Widow's hair length, style and colour. In this trailer clip, when Nat sees Ant-Man on the video camera arriving at the Avengers facility, she's still got her blonde bob from Infinity War, even though it happens 5 years in the future. But in the actual movie, at this point Natasha's hair is long, loose and mostly red mixed with some blonde. By the way, Scott's line from the trailer where he asked to be buzzed in was also deleted from the film. A character who never showed up in Endgame and who many fans missed was Vision, who Thanos killed before the snap in Infinity War. Concept art of a ghostly grey-white Vision leaked before Endgame, suggesting we might have seen the android return. Many fans had theorised that Vision would come back in Endgame because when he was killed in Infinity War he was drained of his colour, a possible allusion to the transformation of his character in the comics after he was resurrected by Hank Pym. But even though Vision didn't appear in Endgame, he is returning to the MCU with Scarlet Witch in the not too distant future. Another technique Marvel used to try and prevent secrets from leaking out was by giving actors notorious for leaking spoilers only partial scripts. In an interview with E! News, Mark Ruffalo revealed that he shot 5 different endings for the movie.
I shot 5 different endings to this movie. I didn't even get a whole script to this movie. I don't know why. I even got the script I did get had dummy scenes in it.
And I've got a separate video on that and how, despite all that, Ruffalo still managed to accidentally leak the actual ending of Avengers Endgame many weeks before the film was released. Tap in the top of the screen to check that out, or there's a link in the video description. A cameo which appears to have been cut from Endgame is by 13 Reasons Why star KATHERINE Langford, who was rumoured to be playing one of 2 possible characters in the movie. The first was Kate Bishop, one of the young Avengers in the comics who became Hawkeye at a time when Clint wasn't around. Kate Bishop also worked with Clint for a while after he returned, and if Langford did film something, it's possible it was more a teaser for Hawkeye's upcoming TV series on Disney+, which Variety says will show Clint passing the Hawkeye mantle on to Kate Bishop. Before Endgame's release, another rumour was that Langford would play Tony Stark's daughter Morgan. This doesn't line up with the fact that Morgan Stark was only 5 years old in Endgame, so that rumour seems unlikely unless she was meant to appear to Tony as a vision of an older Morgan in a flash forward or dream. When fans of the actress asked her what her character was supposed to be in Endgame, she simply replied with a mysterious ... So do you wish any of these deleted scenes had been included in Avengers Endgame? And what do you think about many of the scenes in the trailers being faked or digitally edited? Comment below and be sure to subscribe to enter my Marvel giveaway. Congratulations to the winner of the first round of the giveaway. Send me a message from my About page so I can send you the prize. Tap left to check out how Iron Man actually predicted the ending of Avengers Endgame, or tap right for that Mark Ruffalo video or another video you're sure to like. And if you enjoyed this, a thumbs up and a share are hugely appreciated. Thanks for watching and see you next time, yippee-ki-yay movie lovers!